Check, check, mic check. Hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, guys. Welcome back. Hello, friends. Hope you all are doing well today. It's another Thursday in the shop, and we're continuing on the tool display. Before I go into that, just a reminder, we are going to be at the AWFS conference in Las Vegas, and that's going to be the end of July. So go check that out. It's going to be super fun. We're all going to be there, so you get to meet all the Harvey crew, the Bridge City crew. It's going to be really fun. So definitely go over there, check it out. I'm going to, real quick, just going to check on how the lives are going, make sure everything's going correct. Welcome in, guys. Hello, hello. Hey, hey. Hope everyone's doing well today. All right, everything's looking good on that end. So we are back. We are back in the shop today. For those of you that are new to the live stream, my name is Brandon. I'm the woodworker here at Harvey. And basically what I'm doing today is I'm working on continuing a tool display build that I was starting. So this is actually going to be at the AWS conference that we'll be at. So you're going to want to be there. You'll be able to check out all the tools as well as the display that I made. Let me know if I did a good job or not. But yes, for audio real quick, anybody on Instagram, if you want better audio, you're going to hear a lot of background noise and stuff from the warehouse. Jump on over to YouTube, and then you'll also get the flipped version. So you get a bit of a wide angle as well as better audio. So jump on over to Harvey Industries YouTube, Harvey Woodworking channel YouTube, I think it is. So go check it out. But yeah, I've been working on it. Let's just jump into it. Let me show you what we got going on here today. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining. So we're coming along. Let me just jump over here. So I basically been just kind of working here and there on creating these side pieces. So here, let me pull out my phone real quick and show you guys the image of what we're working on. Okay, so here is what we got going on today. So this is essentially what we're going to be building, and as you can see, I already kind of have these side pieces down. I've got the little orange inlays in there. We need to paint and stain everything still, but that's kind of what we're going for. So we got, as you can see, this little contraption here. Boom. So that's what we got going on there. So I'll just kind of get in a little bit closer here and show you guys like kind of how I put everything together on these. It's been a little bit of a learning curve for me. There's not really a specific way that I've done this before, so I'll just show you. This is just all kind of set in there right now. This is just a half-inch sheet of maple ply, Home Depot special. So I guess I'll show you. So I got one piece coming down here, and I cut 60 degrees here, 30 degrees here, and the specific reason that I had this come down and I had end grain here was because I put screws in from the bottom. So this is actually not just for looks, it's going to be structural. So I really wanted to not just give a glue joint here, but also make some fasteners. And as you can see my lines, that's pretty much where the screws are going right there. So I got about a 1-inch connection there, and then a 2-inch connection there. And then obviously this whole joint is glued all the way through. It's a nice clean cut we got on the sliding table. So yeah, the joint went together really well. And then like I said, I shot some screws in there for extra support. Especially to kind of clamp it together because it's awkward trying to clamp that anyways. So that's kind of the side piece there. Now what I did, I'll show you these in a second. Now what I did was before I tied these two together, I routed a groove right in here on both pieces. And one of the things I had to do was I had to stop that router groove before I got to the end. Otherwise you'd see a nice gouge there. And that wouldn't be very pretty. So that's kind of what I did. I stopped it, I think probably around right here in the middle of the piece there. And the reason for that is, let me grab this other tool and show you kind of the inspiration for this. All right, so this is kind of what I'm using for design inspiration. This is what's the name of it here? It is the Bridge City Tools TS2V2 Tri-Square. So this thing is just super nice, high quality materials. Everything is super accurate on it. Nice square edge there. You got your dovetail markings there. The increments are just, let's see, we have, what is that, 30 seconds on that side? Actually, all 30 seconds, but you have the different graduations there. So essentially what I was doing is trying to create this look. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining. Create this look with the actual display that I'm building. So I took inspiration from the inside here because I knew I wanted to do kind of a triangle shape to support the plywood back. So essentially what I was doing is kind of creating this idea, and I wanted to actually put this groove in the center as well. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but there's this orange kind of piece that's in the center there, and that's in the very center of the tri-square. So essentially I wanted to kind of create that, and that's why we have the groove in the center here, is because I'm gonna slide these. This is just 1/2" ply as well that I'm gonna be staining orange. So I'm gonna slide that in there, slide this piece in there so it meets up, and then that is gonna give a little flash of orange. And then all of this is gonna be kind of a gray color. So it's gonna be similar to this, and then it's gonna have that orange inset in the middle there, right here. So it's just gonna kind of give a nice little flash of color, as well as kind of a little nod to the actual tool that it's gonna be displaying. So that's kind of a little description of that. Now for the actual connection of how this is gonna be connected to the plywood, here, let me find my piece. Here it is. So essentially what we have going, let me back up just a little bit here, guys. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining. So basically what we're doing is, this is cut out of a 2x4, and I milled it down to one. Let me just see real quick here. Oh. I basically just wanted to square off all the edges and make everything nice and flat and clean, so I milled it down to, yeah, so 1 1/4 thick, 1 1/4 that way by 3 inches. So that's kind of the dimensions, and then also you'll notice back here, I pretty much cut out a 3/4 by 3/4 notch here. Now the reason for that, let me show you real quick. I'll grab another piece real quick. So this is just a scrap piece of plywood, but this is gonna be the same stuff that I'm gonna be using for the actual backer piece on the display wall. So what I'm gonna be doing is essentially, this is gonna be my side support piece to keep the rigidity, and I'm just gonna, see that groove there? I'm just gonna slide that on like that, so that it's not just sitting flat against this, but it also has, it's covering that side banding as well. So if that gives you an idea, we're just gonna put on like that. And then from the back, I'm gonna obviously put some glue in here when I put it on. Glue, and then I'm gonna shoot some nails kind of angled into the slot here to keep it rigid like that, as well as I'll probably shoot some 16 gauge nails like that as well, because this is gonna get painted either way, so I'm not worried about fasteners or anything. I mean, a little bit. I don't wanna have big screws or anything like that, but between the glue and then some nails going either way, should be holding just fine. So that's kind of going to be the side there. Let me set this down and show you kind of what we got going on, how it's all going to come together here. So let's tilt you guys down a little bit so you can see a little bit better here. So we have this, whoa, nice, dropping tools already, folks. So we have this side piece that's going to be kind of the piece that holds the board flat, the backer piece flat, as well as adds some rigidity to it. And then these are going to be, let me take these little guys out here. These are going to be what hold the shelves actually at an angle like this. And so essentially what I did was I cut this out so that it's gonna sit right into this guy. So it's a little tight right now, but that's good. I won't sit it down too much because I don't feel like fighting it right now. But essentially what's gonna happen is, let me flip it around. Once I seat it all the way down, these edges are gonna be touching the plywood right here. And then on the other side, it's gonna have about a 3/4 inch gap, which I'm totally fine with. So it's gonna have a little gap here where these don't go all the way to the end, but I actually kind of wanted that in the first place. So it's kind of the plan. And then again, we have the fasteners underneath. So those aren't gonna be seen because this piece is gonna be sitting like that. So you're gonna be looking down on it. Nobody's gonna be, unless somebody's crawling on the floor, but that'd be kind of weird. So these fasteners under here aren't even gonna be seen. And then, so that'll come, let's give this view here. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. And then, just gonna grab another piece of plywood here, just for an example. All right, so that's gonna sit there, and then the shelf is gonna be slanted. I know it's kind of weird orientation right now, but the shelf is gonna be slotted in there like this, like so, and that's gonna run all the way out. And then I'm gonna put a cap on this so you don't see that little router edge there. So a little cap to cap off that plywood. And then that's pretty much it, how it's all gonna come together. So kind of what I'm gonna work on today is I'm gonna get these sanded down a little bit. They're not bad right now, they're just a little bit rough. So I'm gonna do a light sanding on those, and then hopefully start getting these. I don't wanna spray these indoors, so I'll probably do that after the stream, but I'm gonna spray them with a spray can and get them nice and gray to match the tri-square we got over here, the gray, and then also the backer piece, that's gonna be the whole bottom face, or the back face, as well as the slanted shelves. Those are all gonna get stained kind of this black-gray color. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. And again, I'll kind of go back to I'll show you the picture so you can see what I'm talking about. Get kind of close here, excuse me. What's going on, guys? Hello, hello. So again, the side pieces, gonna have those orange inlays, and then they're gonna be sprayed gray like that, and then the support piece going up on the side, those 2x4, what were 2x4s, now they're milled down a little bit, but those are gonna be gray as well. And then the whole backer piece, which is 3/4 inch ply, that's gonna be kind of a stained grayish black color. The shelves here, those are all gonna be stained as well. And I haven't figured out if I wanna do this strip across the front gray or if I wanna just keep that black and keep it all consistent. If you guys have any thoughts on that, let me know. Gray strip going across like this to connect these two, or just leave it all black in the middle. What do you think? Anything, any thoughts? Let me know. Essentially, that's what we're going for. And it is gonna be a full 4x8 sheet standing up. So that's why I have these bigger pieces on the bottom, which you will see sitting right over here. So I'll actually bring you guys over to kind of show you the base of what I'm doing. Essentially, it's the same thing, but on a little different scale. There we go. So that's kind of what we're going for the base. Now these are gonna be the same thing, that same angle and everything. They're gonna be slotted into that 2x4 going up, but then they're just a little bit bigger. And then I'm just gonna keep a kind of a shallower shelf here. I don't want it coming out too far, because then when people walk up to the base, they need to be able to step up to it in order to grab the tools and stuff. So I don't want them like reaching super far over. So that's why I made that. This is gonna be the bottom shelf, and then there's gonna be another upper shelf. So I wanted those to be the same as well. So that's what we're doing today. And here's the backer piece. Still just kind of, I think basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of put everything on there to see the gist of like how many tools I have and kind of the spacing and everything. But this is definitely not even close to the last layout. basically what I'm doing is I'm creating the shelves and everything, and then afterwards I'll go through and organize everything on the shelf, and then I'll put some little dividers and make sure everything's hung kind of where I want it. So I'll do a little bit of kind of back and forth when it comes to actually laying everything out at the end. But for now, I'm just trying to get the main display built so that we can get that going. So that's what we're working on today. And it's gonna be slotted right in there like that and hold it just like so. And then this is gonna be, I'm gonna glue this in place as well. I might bring some like construction adhesive and kind of throw that in there to give it some extra grip. And then I'll probably shoot some nails up from underneath as well, just to hold everything, lock it in place. Make sure it's solid, not gonna go anywhere. So one of the things is I don't have enough 2x4s today. I'll have to go get those later today. This is just a scrap piece that I milled up for just making sure everything's gonna fit nicely. So I still have to go get a couple 2x4s to make the actual frame that goes around the display, and then mill those up to these dimensions. So basically I'm just trying to get these side pieces were taking a little while. So now that those are done, we can work on getting them painted and then getting the shelves here stained as well as the backer piece stained. So again, I think what I'm gonna work on today is I'm just gonna get these guys sanded down. I'm just gonna give it a light sanding. I'm not worried too much about getting it really smooth and perfect, just because it's gonna get painted anyways and I want a little bit of wood texture. I don't wanna get it like super smooth. So it's kind of what we're going for today. All right, let's see what we got going over here on YouTube and Instagram. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Good to see you guys today. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having an excellent Thursday so far. All right, I'm just gonna jump on here and see if there's any chats going on, any comments. What do we got here? Aaron O says, happy Thursday. That display looks great. Cannot wait to see when it's finished. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out as well. And yeah, I'm especially excited to see kind of the end result, to see how everything kind of comes together with like the colors and everything. I don't typically do projects where I'm like painting, I don't know, painting like weird colors like orange and stuff like that. Well, the orange is actually going to be stained. But yeah, it's kind of a new project for me, so I'm just kind of figuring out as I go and hoping it all works out. So what I'm going to get into right now is giving these, like I said, giving these side pieces a sanding. So, like I said, basically just a bigger version of what we got going on here. So this is going to be the upper one, and it's going to be about a 14-inch shelf that comes down. So my groove right here is going to be about 14 inches on an angle. And I decided, just out of like intuition, I kind of went with a 30-degree angle coming down, just because it kind of felt like the right angle. So basically we'll just have, give me one second. Essentially, it's going to be similar height to this actually, like with me standing, and then it's just, we're going to have the tools kind of just sitting at that angle there. So it's just kind of a nice angle, easy to come up, grab. It's kind of that natural angle that you want to have anyways. So it's kind of gonna be the vibe. So one of our sponsors here is, let's flip you guys around here for a second. So we have a partner that's been working with us, Surf Prep Sanding. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining. Van Stray Designs, welcome, welcome. So we got our Surf Prep set up here. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is my second time that I've ever used this setup. So I'm actually very new to this guy. But we're gonna try it out today and see what we think. And honestly, I can't even tell you the names of this stuff because I don't quite know myself. But let me see what we got. I'm assuming this is just their standard. I don't even know if they have any other versions or anything. Maybe you guys can fill me in on that. But basically, this guy has, it's like a shop vac that connects to your sander, to the SurfPrep sander. And it has an automatic function where when you plug your sander in here, it's gonna actually, when you start the sander, it's gonna turn on the dust collector as well. So that's a super nice feature. And it has these little lights here. I'm not sure what these are. So we got like a wind one, a fan, and a tool one. I'm not sure what that is. But it basically has like 2 modes, I think. Looks like we have a manual mode. So if I switch this to manual mode, so it's gonna go ahead and turn on right here at the source here. And then if you put it on automatic, you hear that beeping going on. This thing's crazy technology. Then once you get your sander going and you start it up, so it turns on automatically. So that's a really nice feature. You're not hopping around and flipping different switches and stuff. And then this one also has different speed settings, which is pretty cool. And like I said, I've only used it like once before. So I'm gonna test it out right now. I got a 150 grit on here. And then this is just kind of like, I believe their standard kind of flattening cushion, I guess you could say. I don't even know what that's called technically, but so 150 grit. And then this thing also has a feature where it self-cleans. So once I start running it, you'll hear it kind of go, and then it'll kind of go like that. And that's what's happening is it's actually trying to self-clean the filters so the filters don't get super clogged up. So that's pretty much what we got going on. SurfPrep, check them out. Yeah. So I'm gonna get started. I did change the speed setting on this. You can turn it up super high or kind of whatever your preferences are. But for me right now, I don't want it super high because I'm not trying to remove a ton of material. So now let's turn you around here. Boom. Get a little close-up shot of the sanding. There we go. Hello, guys. Hey, guys, welcome in. Thanks for joining. So we're just gonna go for it. Just like I said, 150 grit. It's on automatic for the dust collection, so as soon as I turn this on, it should turn on, and then we're gonna just get to it. I'm just adjusting the speed setting right now. All right, well, first thoughts on the sander is it has plenty of power. I'll tell you that much. Because it just kicked into gear and just went for it and did exactly what I wanted. So, no issues there. I'm gonna keep going here. and I'm just putting light to moderate pressure right now. Okay, so I do want to put a chamfer on these edges, but I'm not sure how I want to do that. I thought maybe, I could just sand that, but it's not going to turn out like an even reveal. So I might just actually try to get that with the hand plane. This guy's my favorite tool to use right now. This is the, oh gosh, I always forget. It's the HP8X Collection Edition Mini Block Plane by Bridge City Tools. This thing is awesome. Really cool, solid metal, all stainless, so this thing's great. So I'm just gonna see if I can get a little bit of chamfer going here. See if I can get it cut clean at least. I could do this with like a router bit, but I just risked a lot of tear out doing that, especially with this end grain coming like it is. So I'm just gonna try to do it by hand for now. That's pretty good. I'm not mad at that. Just get this one here. Yeah, it's those ends that are a little bit more difficult. You have to kind of like almost shave down at an angle here because I don't want to pull out that grain. Okay, that's not bad. So just get a little bit of a chamfer around the edge there. Soften those edges so they're not too sharp. And then I'll probably just go back and hand sand that after, make sure it's nice and smooth. And I guess I'll kind of try to hit the insides of this a little bit. Nice. I already tore up my sandpaper because I'm doing stupid stuff like sanding corners. Well, I can always change it out, I guess. And if I was smart, I would have sanded all these pieces before I put them together, but why would I do that when I can make more work for myself? That doesn't make sense, right? What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining. So for those of you who are just joining, we're working on a tool display today. And like I said, I'm not trying to make these like these are gonna get painted anyways, so I'm not trying to get like all the little tiny scratch marks out or anything. I'm just trying to get them nice and smooth to where it will take paint and you won't be able to notice like any big gouges or anything, or little lips like that or something. So it's kind of the aim right now, just to do that. So those of you that are just joining this stream, let me wait for the vacuum to stop here. There we go. Okay. So for those of you just joining this stream, if you're looking for better audio, I'm going to be talking a little bit throughout this stream. So if you want to hear what I'm saying instead of just the tools, head on over to YouTube. I am wearing a lapel mic, so that might pick up a little bit better sound for you. As well as I do have other lives that I've done before in the past. I built a really cool walnut cabinet on the lives before this one. So definitely go check those out. See the end result. It's pretty cool. It's like a little walnut cabinet. Let's go check that out. And then also for this display build, so I do have like some grooves here. I'm not too worried about it because the shelf that's going to be sitting here is going to cover those. So you're never going to see that, like those deep scratches there. I did make a little bit of an oopsie on this side because I made some deeper marks because it's such soft wood. Made some deeper marks with my pencil that I just kind of had to take out. But overall, everything's going well. Wow, it's actually quiet for once in the warehouse. That's a first. A little weird, actually. Okay, what's the best way to do this one? One of the things about this Doug fir is that it doesn't take to planing very well, just because it's so soft in between the grain that just wants to tear out a little bit. I'm trying to think what would be the best way for you guys to see this here. Do a little Japanese pole planing action. There's some noise from the warehouse. Cool, it's looking good. Little chamfer going all the way around there now. Everything looks pretty good so far. And I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to tear up my sandpaper even more. So, move on to the big boys. What's up, guys? Hello, hello. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Brandon here with Harvey Industries, doing some live woodworking for you today. We are working on a display build, tool display build, I should say. We're going to be using these guys to display all the Bridge City tools at the upcoming AWFS convention. She's a jumper. besides me tearing this sandpaper up on the sander, honestly, this thing is great so far. Has 3/16 or 5mm. I'm assuming that might be like the throw. And then it says 10,000 RPM on it. So I'm assuming that's going to be the max RPM you can go. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking this thing so far. It's basically got 3 buttons on the top here. It's got the power button. The red light indicates that it's off. And then green blinking light, right? Yeah. The green blinking light means it's on, it's ready to go. And then these are your speed adjustments here. And I'll have to look a little bit more into kind of any other features and stuff of it, but so far it's collecting the dust really well. It's paired with the, show you down here, paired with the Surf Prep dust collector, or I'm not sure what you call that, but that thing to suck up all the dust, and it has that self-cleaning feature that you keep hearing. It's going pew, pew, while I'm running it. So it's going to clean out the filters as it goes, which is kind of cool. It keeps that same suction the whole time. So far, really like it. And right now I'm just putting light to medium pressure. Trying to take off any imperfections on the surface. Not trying to really remove that much material. I'm going to take these out for now so that I can sand a little bit more on the actual... Oh, too tight. Tight fit. Oh, man. Get out of there. I bet it's because this knot right here. That's why it's tight to get in and off there. There we go. All right. Just so I can get in here a little bit and smooth this out. So what I'm going for is I'm actually gonna, just kind of like a little test piece that I did. So this is just one coat of the paint that I'm gonna be using. As you can see there. So I'm gonna be painting it this color. This is sanded, this is not sanded. So obviously you can see like, oh, you guys probably can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. So this piece here is what I was talking about. So this is kind of the color I'm going to go with. This piece is sanded. See how it's nice and smooth. You can still see the grain a little bit, which is kind of cool. That's what I want. And then this piece is not sanded here, this side. So I'm just trying to get rid of that texture, basically with what I'm doing right now. I don't remember if I sanded this or not. I don't think I did. So we'll see how it turns out. But that's kind of the color we're going for. That, and then I don't know where the other orange piece I had went. Little stain sample. But I'll get to that in a minute. So this one's good to go. I just need to put a little chamfer on it. It's kind of weird to hand plane when there's two joints coming together, or one joint with two pieces coming together. You got weird grain going on there, but we're getting it. How's my technique with the hand plane? Because I'm really new to using hand tools like planes and hand saws and stuff like that, but I want to get more into it and start using more. So that's why I'm trying, just trying different stuff. But I know I'm probably not doing, obviously I know this one is you're supposed to push it, but I don't know, it works to pull it too. Why not? If it works, it works. Okay, that one's good to go. One more to go. Where's my other piece? Oh, there it is. Behind me on the floor. Give it a turn. Say hi to the new peeps coming in. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Thursday so far. Good to see you all. Check some comments here, see if anybody's saying anything. Always a good day when the shop is on. Oh, yeah. Always a good day when you're in the shop. Cool. I'm actually going to zoom you guys out just a little bit so that we can get a better, I don't have to keep going back and forth. It's a little bit better. All right. Man, it's rare that the warehouse is quiet, but it's been kind of quiet a couple times today. It's kind of nice. All right. Bust this out real quick. Almost done with sanding here. And last space. Okay, those are done. So next step I'm gonna work on is, let's slide you guys around here. Gulf Coast Atelier says, do you feel like giving a table saw away? Giving away a table saw today? We'll have to talk about that one. We will have to talk about that. Tell you what, I'm gonna bring it up and we'll talk about it with the crew. Today, I don't know about today, but in the future, maybe. We will definitely think about that. Something we want to discuss anyways, so I don't know if you keep following along. you might get one. You might just get one. All right, so that I don't mix these up because they're cut to the individual piece. I did kind of label them here. So this says number 1. Basically, this is going to be hidden because it's going to be in the groove. So I wrote it down there. That's why I put it there. And then inside the groove, I just wrote the number that corresponds with this so that we have matching pieces that we know are going to go certain places. So right now, what I'm going to do is set these legs aside. What do we got here? So this is number 4. And so what I did with these is essentially it's literally just a piece of, let me show you here, just a piece of 1/2-inch ply, maple ply. And then I went ahead and put a roundover on it with a roundover bit on the router table, sitting right over there. Well, YouTube can't see, but sitting right over here. Router table. So I went ahead and put a roundover bit, and then I went on the my belt sander, and essentially all I did was just put it flat and just kind of went like that. And I used, I think, 120, 180 grit, just to try not to tear through the veneer. But just to smooth this out so that it takes stain a little bit better and then it's not like super rough. So it's actually pretty smooth. Not bad. And it's not going to be one of those things that it's going to be right up close in your face and you're going to be touching a lot. So I'm not too worried about getting it like really nice and smooth. Like ideally, I'd probably use like a solid piece of maple, but I'm just working with what I got here. So sometimes you got to just work with what you got and do the best you can. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so got all of our pieces. Make sure they're all corresponding here. Okay. Number 2. Number 1. Okay, so got 1, 2, 3, 4. These are our corresponding numbers here. So let's see here. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my staining stuff. So I'll be back in just a second. For those on YouTube, you can still hear me. So I'm just looking through my, I have like a whole bin of stains and stuff over here. So I'm just kind of going through and making sure I get the right stain. If I can remember which one I tried before. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're gonna use that. We need some gloves and a little stain rag. So typically, when I'm doing any sort of wood, I try to stay away from really orangey tones, just because I personally don't like that. I like the more warm, kind of warm or cool tones, depending on. I just don't really like orange. Orange, when wood's stained orange, it just reminds me of like old like school bleachers or something, you know, which are cool, but it's just not really my style when it comes to woodworking. So I'm going to use this. It's by Varathane. It's their premium wood stain, and it's in Colonial Maple. So it's got this real. I use this as a sample. I bought like. So something I like to do is when I'm doing a project, instead of just like guessing and buying a big can of something, I like to buy these little ones as like kind of sample sets, and then for different projects, if I need, I can use it. I can use like a smaller version of it like this, or if I need to buy a bigger version, I'll at least have a sample can to know what color I want. So I already tested this out, and I'm actually gonna close the lid and give it a little shaken, as well as something that I'll give you guys a tip on. Any of you pros will already know this, but anybody who's like beginner to intermediate, when it comes to stains, if they've sat for any period of time, really, you always want to not just mix it up, but you always want to get a stir stick and stir, because there's always a good amount of sediment that settles at the bottom. And if you don't mix that up, then your stain's going to be completely different. It's going to be a completely different color. So you always want to, I'll do it in a second, once you open the can, you want to actually give it a good stir with a little stir stick. Make sure it's all mixed together and combined. Make myself a little stir stick here. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining. Hope you guys are doing well. So, quick update. Where is it? Let me grab my little tri-square over here. So what we're going for is we're kind of mimicking this with our tool display. This is the tools. This is one of the tools that's going to be displayed on the actual display. So what I'm going to be doing is I already made the kind of the frame for the legs that's going to hold it up. And now these are just the pieces that are going to be inset within. So I'm going to try to match this kind of orangey color with this wood stain. So we'll see how it turns out and if it turns out the way I want it to. So I need to get a screwdriver to open that real quick. Also, I'm just going to get a quick drink of water. Here's your reminder to drink water today. Something I always forget to do. Stay hydrated, people. Drink your water. This is my OG screwdriver. This is my do everything screwdriver. I've had this since I started doing construction. I built so many projects with it, not just woodworking, but actually like building houses and stuff. Man, I love this thing. I use it for everything. It's a pry bar. It's a chisel when you need a really dull chisel. It can be a lot of everything. So got that going. Before I get into this, just gonna move some stuff out of the way and then put my gloves on because I don't want orange fingers today. Already smells nice and fumey. It's not crazy fumey, but it's enough to notice it. So like I was saying before, even though it looks like pretty good and mixed up, you definitely still want to go ahead and give it a mix because there's always stuff that settles in the bottom. And sometimes you can even feel it settling on the bottom, and then you'll feel kind of when it starts to mix together well, all that oil and stuff separates and then creates a totally different stain. So what we're going for is mixing all of it together, getting a nice consistency. And that way, if you do need to go back after the fact and like stain another piece, for instance, you're gonna get the same look. Versus if it's settled a little bit and then you forget to mix it up and then stain the piece, it's going to be totally different than your original piece that, say, you did mix it up. So just for consistency, always give it a good stir. Okay, that should be good. And hey, look at that. I got an orange little rag to match my orange stain. It's just an orange kind of day. I brought some oranges to eat too. Anyways, I digress. So, just gonna get that kind of bunched up, give it a good dip, and slather it on. So this is just a 1/2-inch maple ply. And I'm actually intentionally trying to make it very orange. That's kind of the point. Okay. Just set some pieces aside. No, I'm gonna, just for kicks, I'm gonna do the end in case somewhere it decides to get a little flash on the end and show itself, but. Okay, so that's number 3. I don't know why I started with number 3, but we did, so. I keep going with number 3 here. And I'm sure most of you struggle with this too, is like, I wanted to really take a lot of time on this build and get it really nice and like precise and everything just really finished really well. But there's definitely a fine line when you're doing woodworking, especially when you're doing it for a project for somebody else. Like, it's different if it's your own project, then you can kind of take however long you want and there's not like the money constraints. But when there's money on the table and you're doing it for someone else, a lot of times there is limits and you need to make decisions of like how long you want to spend sanding, how long you want to like, is it worth it to go through an extra grit just to get that little tiny scratch out, you know? For me, I would always want to do quality first. However, like, there are certain instances that it will eat into your profits like significantly to just spend too long on something. So that's one of the things that I've learned, is you have to choose your battles when it comes to certain things about certain projects, especially when there's like money on the table. Like I said, it's different if it's your own project and it's just like a hobby that you want to just take, you know, a year to build one piece or something. But most of the time that's not the case. You're doing it for someone else, or I don't know. There's just different expectations and different limits that you have to account for. So right now I'm just slathering all of it on there, trying to get it to soak in nicely, and then I'll wipe the excess off after, once it's kind of soaked in a little bit. And then I'll probably do another round of stain after the fact. Just to get it a little bit darker. Yeah, I know stain is very controversial. Like, I know a lot of guys that do woodworking, they're kind of the OG guys are like all about just natural, just put a clear coat of finish on stuff. And then you got some guys they like to have the different tones of the wood, and like some guys even use like colored dyes and stuff like that to dye the wood certain bright colors and stuff like that. But I don't know, I think honestly it's just up to preference. Whatever, whoever it's for, whatever project it's for, just as long as it makes that person happy, then that's what matters. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this turns out. I've never actually built like a large display of this sort. You know, I built cabinetry and furniture, stuff like that, but I've never actually built like a display for anything. So it's kind of my first time trying stuff out, and I'm sure at the end I'll have some takeaways from it and figure out what I did right and what I would have changed. But that'll be for the next couple lives. We'll figure out what we wanted to do different or see how it turned out. And after this build, I also have another pretty cool build that we'll be bringing to the AWFS convention. So, got some cool stuff coming up. And then we're in talks about where we want to go with kind of the social media and different videos that we're putting out, the lives, all that stuff. We're trying to kind of figure out the direction for that right now. Definitely want to put out more content for you guys though. And not just lives too, we want to make actual videos as well. YouTube videos and shorts, stuff like that. Something else too is I'm not protecting the bench right now, just because, as you can see, someone's already before me kind of gone a little haywire with stain and everything else and gotten it pretty messy, so I'm not too worried about it. I do I would like to eventually refinish the surface of this bench because it's a really nice bench that the founder of Bridge City made, actually, John Economaki. I'm really honored to be able to work on it, knowing that he's one of the greats in the woodworking industry. He's made some incredible tools and furniture, all kinds of stuff. You should definitely go check out his story. John Economaki, founder of Bridge City Tools. Designer of the tools as well, I should say. And one thing I learned about him was that he was either friends with or he used to know Sam Maloof. And I don't know all the details to the story. I was just reading some of it. But Sam Maloof saw some of his stuff and he basically told John, like, hey, I think you should be a tool maker, tool designer and maker. Because he saw some of his tools and saw something in him, and then John said, you know what, maybe I will. Turns out that was the right decision. Because now we have Bridge City Tools, which are absolutely beautiful tools, and they're also really good quality. Okay, so we got that done. I'm just gonna go back with a separate rag, one that's not full of stain and stuff. And just kind of wipe off any excess. And I'll probably actually just let these dry for a while before I do another coat, just to kind of give it time to soak in. And already they feel pretty smooth. I mean, just running them over on that belt sander really, I think, did the trick. One of the things with stain is you want to always wipe off the excess, because if you leave the excess on and it dries, it's just going to get really sticky. So you just want to wipe off all the excess stain. And it's going to look blotchy, so. Not too shabby so far. So I guess here's the look that we're going for. So this is going to be inset in there like so, giving the effect of that guy. This silver kind of gray outside with the orange inlay there. So that's kind of what we're going for. So it's going to be set out about a half an inch, so about right there. So that's kind of the look. Should be pretty cool. I don't know, it's worth a try at least, right? Let's see if we got any comments going here. Hello, everybody that's new joining us. Thanks for joining. Brandon here, Harvey Industries International. Hope everyone's doing well today. Appreciate everybody joining. All right. All right, so we have Sever Woodworks says over on YouTube says, hello, is this shop in the warehouse at the Harvey HQ in California? It is located Harvey Industries International. Yes. So to answer your question, yes. I picked up my table saw and bandsaw there. Yes. So the location of the shop is in California, where we are at, and it's at a secret location. No, not really, but if you want to know more, definitely contact the customer service peeps. They're super nice. I'll be happy to talk with you about it, answer any questions you might have. So really all that's gonna show on these is just this round over part and then plus like a 1/4 inch. So the other parts don't really matter too much, just those parts. And they're doing what I wanted them to do, look really orange. Fun fact, when I was just starting out my woodworking business, I had a job that I took on to basically create a cabinet that matched a customer's previous cabinets in his kitchen. And they were I believe they were cherry. And at that point, I had no idea what wood they used. And so I ended up buying maple and then had to stain the maple, which some of you might know is not easy because it gets really blotchy. But I ended up using, I think that's maybe why I bought this orange, or maybe I bought this for a different thing. But anyways, it turned out okay, but boy, I spent a long time trying to figure out how to match that cherry with stained maple. So, but hey, in the end, there's the warehouse, that noise that's I'm used to. In the end, it turned out, and the customer was very happy with it, so that made me happy. But yeah, I've learned a lot since then. Like for instance, not to leave rags all balled up, but let them dry out. Set them aside. I'm gonna put this over here. Cool, so that's good for now. I think we are good to go on that one. Gloves off. Okay, so what next? I think I'm gonna go ahead and sand down the shelves a little bit, just really light coat with maybe like 220, just to smooth them out, and then we'll go ahead and try to give it a stain with the black stain. That'll be fun, see if that works out. So let me put all these aside. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna be smart for once and do a test piece, so that I'm just gonna get all this, if there are any little drips of anything around here. Oh, look at that, we got a screw that's sticking up. I'll have to file that down later. So, this is gonna be similar. Okay, that's gonna be kind of the look that we're going for. So this is not the actual shelf, but this is same material. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do the process that I would do if I was finishing it, just to see how it's gonna turn out and if I like it. And if I don't like it, then I'll have to change something and go from there. But right now, I'm gonna get some new sandpaper. Probably looking for, got like a 320. That might be too much. So fresh 220. Okay, I'm actually just gonna do, I'm gonna do a fresh 320 grit. Surf Prep sandpaper, 320 grit. One of the things that's a little bit hard to get used to with this is normally when I'm putting sandpaper on, I'd like to set the sander down and then align this. But if I do that with this back piece, which I guess I could just, wow. Easy enough, never mind. But I did forget to turn it off a couple times, and I went to do that, and it would turn on and start spinning and stuff. So I guess just turn it off and then line it up. Make sure those holes are nice and lined up. Like to give it a good press and spin, just to make sure everything's locked in there. All those hooks and loops are in there. And I am gonna turn the speed down a little bit here. Got my finger. All right. Yeah, that's nice and smooth now. Just a quick like once over with the 320. Nice and smooth to the touch. Now I'm gonna transition into my black stain. Which is actually interesting because I've wanted to use, I'm gonna get some new gloves too. I've wanted to use black stain for a while on project, but I just haven't really had the need to. But now I do. So this is the one I'm trying out. It's a Varathane wood stain. Color is ebony. So it's like pretty much a dark, almost black stain. And it's not a dye, it's a stain. It says dries in 1 hour, achieve color in 1 coat. Covers 75% more. We're gonna test that. Again, I like to just give it a quick shake. Just to get anything kind of loose in there mixed up, and then pop it open. There you go, that stuff's black. I'm gonna grab some new gloves. And I do have a rag that I was using before for testing, so I'm just gonna keep using that one. What's going on, everybody? New gloves, because I definitely don't want my hands getting dyed black. Okay. So I'm gonna cover up the watch just cause. Now, go back in and stir. Like we said before, always want to get any particles off the bottom. Make sure everything's mixed together really well. Give it a good stir, make sure everything's consistent. You don't want any like oil sitting on top and the pigments on the bottom or anything, so definitely want to give it a good stir. Make sure it's all combined. Now I did a test piece with this stuff and I'm not 100% if I like it or not, so we'll see if, and I didn't sand that one, so we'll see how this turns out with sanding and everything. Look at that. Black stain. Oh. All right. Let's give it a shot and see how it turns out here. Make sure you guys get a good shot here so we can see it. Let's get a little bit of a downward angle going. Here we are. Boom. All right, let's see how it turns out here. Let's see if we can get true black. And this is just a maple plywood. You can get it at any box store, Home Depot, Lowe's. Pick your poison. Oh, so I think I'm actually really liking how this is turning out after sanding just really quick at 320. And make sure we get all the pores filled in. Actually, it looks really cool so far. Wipe off some of that excess there. Yeah, that's gonna look really clean actually. I just need to get some rags to wipe up the excess. Hey, that's kind of cool actually. I think I'm digging that. It's a little blotchy, but I think honestly that's just the maple, the weird grain going on there. Let's see if we can get a better shot like this without shaking you guys to death here. So it's kind of what we got going on. So I don't know, I don't hate it. I like that you can still see the grain and everything. It's kind of cool. Here, let me turn the light off real quick. You get a better view. What do you think? What do you think? Go for it? So again, we're going with this idea. So we have the black, which that's what we're going for there. I know it's not true black, but it's black enough. And then we have the silver, which is going to be this gray color. So kind of similar there. It's a little bit more blue, but that's all right. And then we have our orange pieces that we stained a minute ago. So I think altogether, I think it'll look pretty good. It's pretty much what I was going for, so I think I'm gonna just go for it, just send it. I think that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's get this light back on here. So I think I'm just gonna go for it, and let's see what time we got. 37. I'll go ahead and sand the shelves just real quick. Sand the shelves real quick with that 320, and then we'll go ahead and throw some stain on them. Get all my stain stuff out of the way so we don't knock it over. Nice, all over my hands. Man, this stuff gets everywhere. Okay. That's good enough. Now we're just gonna take that 320 and go back and do a quick sanding, just to kind of cut off any of the fibers that are sticking up. And when you're sanding plywood like this, you definitely have to be careful because any uneven pressure, you know, if I'm putting it like this, if I'm putting uneven pressure like this, I'm going to be putting a lot of focused sanding on that one part, and it's just going to wear right through that veneer, because the veneer is only, I don't even know, it's really thin, probably a 64th, 32nd or 64th, something. So you want to make sure that your sander is completely flat the whole time and you're not putting a lot of downward pressure, you're just kind of letting it go over the surface, just to cut down any of those fibers sticking up and make sure everything's smoothing off. Pretty good. We do have like a kind of an indent that goes down like this. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get a light on it so you guys can see. No, you probably can't see it, but there's like a little indent that comes down like this. And I'm not sure. I might try to just feather that out a little bit so it's not as dramatic, because I'm afraid when I stain it, you're gonna see that really easily. So I'm just gonna try to feather it out just a little bit. There you go, you can see where the sawdust is going. That's what I want to get rid of right there. I think that's all I'm going to do because I don't want to wear through that veneer. Definitely do not want to wear through it. That one. This one I'm just going to do real quick because this is going to be the bottom. I don't know if you heard me say it a minute ago, but this is going to be the underside of the shelf, which is never going to be seen or touched. So I'm just going over it real quick. I don't need to really do a fine finish sanding on it. All right, that one's good to go. Next up. Oh yeah, you gotta love when they put stickers on your plywood, right? You try to peel them off, and it's just a pain in the butt. Especially paper stickers that do that. Pet peeve of mine right there. Hate it. I know I could heat it up and whatever, but I don't have time for that. Nobody got time for that. All right. Quick once over with the sander. Here we go. Okay, bottom side's done. Now top side, we'll spend a little bit more time on this one just because we want it to stain up nicer. And we do have the Surf Prep sander, random orbital sander going with the 320 grit. So basically what I'm trying to do is just knock down all that fuzz. Just kind of catches a little bit. Not sure if you do a little microfiber trick. Look at that. Grips too much. So hopefully when I do a little finish sanding, it won't grip as much. Much smoother. Still got, you know, some fibers in there sticking up, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm eventually gonna put some finish on it, and then I'll just do a light sanding just to cut those fibers off, and that way it locks them in place, and then do a final coat of finish on it. But I think that's good for now. Quick wipe down, and I'm just gonna go for it. And we're gonna throw some stain on it. So this is gonna be the back. So I'll just kind of, back of the shelf is never gonna be seen, so I'm just gonna kind of slop some on there. Don't have to worry too much about what it looks like. And just to stay consistent, we still wanna put some stain on it. Oh no, I got my water bottle. That's all right. And I can feel already, if I go this way, then I'm catching the grain. If I push it this way, I'm avoiding catching that grain. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that so that I'm not pulling those fibers up, even though this is the backside or whatever, but still. Just getting consistent coverage over everything. Then we'll go ahead and wipe it off after we're done. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe off most of the excess with this one. Okay, now I'll go back with my dry rag and wipe off the rest. I'm gonna try to section this off by folding it so that I'm not using up the entire rag, so I can kind of stretch my rag so that I'm not using all kinds of extra rags I don't need to use. Trying to soak up any extra stain. That's all we're doing here. Fun part is I got to do this with the entire 4x8 backer. So it's going to take a little while. I won't bore you guys with that though. Okay, so for the back of the shelf, I think that's going to be good. It's actually got some cool grain pattern going on there. What's going on, folks? Looking great. Thank you for repeating yourself with the sander off, says the Giant Woodworks. You're absolutely welcome. And like I said this at the beginning of the stream, and I kind of try to repeat it throughout, but I am wearing a lapel mic, so If you guys want better audio, definitely hop over to YouTube from Instagram. So just a little tidbit for you guys. You'll definitely get better audio there. All right, now this is the face, so let's see how it turns out. Hopefully it's pretty. I mean, it's a tool display, so. Gotta be kind of pretty, right? Can't have beautiful tools on an ugly display. All right, that's the way the grain's going there, so we'll go with the grain. And I'll be wrapping up in about 5 minutes, just so you guys know. I might just honestly wrap it up once I'm done this one. Try to end around 2 usually. We go from like about 12 p.m. Pacific time till noon, or till 2 p.m. Pacific time. It's about 2 hours. We usually try to do the stream. Sometimes it's about 1.5 hours, other times it's about 2, so just kind of varies on what we're working on. So far, I'm actually really liking this black stain. I think it looks really cool. I really wanted to try this on some white oak to see kind of how it would look, if it would give it like a ebonizing effect, or if it would just look kind of like, if it would muddy up and look bad, but really just trying to let that grain soak up as much as it can before we wipe it off. So I think that's good for now. Now I'm going to start wiping it off from this end. And you don't want to wait too long because then it starts to get sticky. And use just one face like this to wipe off most of the excess, and then go back with a cleaner part of the rag and wipe off the rest. All right. Go through and kind of soak up any excess on there. I think all the colors that I'm using, like, you know, this darker stain like this, along with that silverish gray color, paired with the orange accents, I really think it's gonna make all these tools pop. You know, if we set this guy on there, like, man, that's gonna look really cool when it's all done. So, I think it's turning out great so far. These forklifts over here going crazy with them horns. All right. Good to go. So I'm just gonna wipe off these edges because there's some little drips going on here. And fun fact, this is actually the first piece of plywood that I milled up on the sliding table. So I had a little bit of a learning curve there with doing a full sheet on there, but it worked out really nice, and it ended up getting, oh man, I gotta get that screw out of there. So I have a little screw there's a screw in the bench right here that broke off, and it's scratching up the backside here. So, but I'm not worried about it. Again, that's the backside, it's never gonna be seen. So, just do a little touch up. But I do need to get that screw out of there. I don't want the good face getting messed up by that. So, all right, there you go. Well, that's, I guess, shelf number 1, stained up. It's kind of cool, like texture and grain pattern going on there and stuff. I like it. All right, well, that is where I'm gonna wrap it up for the day, folks. I'm gonna keep rolling for a little while on this, get the other one stained up, and then, yeah, figure out what to do next. So, that said, oh no, looks like I lost YouTube for a second there. All right, I had a couple comments on YouTube. Let's see, we have Sever Woodwork says you could try a clear shellac first, then stain to reduce some of the blotching. Yeah, I definitely agree that I could do some stuff that would reduce blotching. However, to be honest, I'm a little bit limited in the shop right now, so I'm just gonna kind of go with what I got. I'm not too worried about the blotching because I'm kind of wanting it to be a little bit like, I want it to be not the focus, right? And honestly, I'm not too mad at it. I think the some sawdust on there. Overall, I want the shelves in the background to be like non-existent when you're looking at it. I want the main focus to be the tools that are on it. So for instance, you know, you put that on there, I want that to be the focus, not the background, which is kind of the point of going dark with it. That way the tools really pop out and make sure everything's kind of, the tools are the thing that's being seen. Now I got sawdust all over it here, but that's all right. Cool. Well, hey guys, I really appreciate all of you. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. I hope you all are having a great day so far. If not, I hope your day gets better. And again, my name is Brandon. I'm here every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, doing lives, just doing some random woodworking. So if you want to see more, see how this turns out, definitely check in next week, Thursday, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Harvey Industries Woodworking, Bridge City Tools, we got all of it. So check it out. Definitely go on the website. Harvey always does like really good sales and stuff. So if you guys are looking for buying like saws or sliding tables, routers, lathes, we got it all. So definitely head on over to Harvey Industries International website. Check that out. Check out the YouTube. I got some other lives that I've already done before, some cool projects. So if you guys are bored, you want to go check those out, feel free to head on over to YouTube, see what I'm doing. So one last reminder, we are going to be, this whole build that I'm doing right now is for the AWFS conference, and that's going to be in the end of July. So that is, oh man, I forget what it stands for. American Woodworking, no. I forget what it stands for, but it's basically going to be a huge conference. Everybody's going to be there. You guys don't want to miss it. I'm going to be there. A lot of the Harvey crew is going to be there, so the owners of Harvey are going to be there. You're going to be able to meet them, talk to them, all kinds of stuff. I'd love to talk with you guys and just hang out, have a drink or two. So definitely check that out. End of July. It's going to be in Las Vegas, so get your tickets now, and we'll see you there. So that's going to be it for me today. I'll be back next week, and I will see you guys then. Take care, guys.